Yep, so I've come to the boat today because we're really not happy with the last few days. You guys been seeing the progress, and I was happy, real happy of the work up to now, but I haven't been here all week, and these guys have, so we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna have to show them what I'm gonna have to make them redo some stuff. I'm really gonna have to put the whip down, I think, and set some people straight because they're starting to cut some corners. I don't know if they're trying to save us money or what, but I can't have that happening. So yeah, not real happy with how it's going at the moment. So up to now, they've done a really good job. The first job was to take apart the whole skin of the whole entire hull and reinforce the ribs and the stringers inside, and then replace the plywood on the whole thing. And they did that up until like 3/4 of the boat, and then for some reason when we flipped the boat around to do the back, they haven't done it. So I think what they're saying, look at this, this is the old plywood, and what they're telling me is it's good condition. There's no rot. They sanded it down or grinded it down. There's no weak spots, there's no rot or anything. And I said, I don't care. Like, all they're trying to do is save us some money. I understand they're used to clients like on this other boat over here that just cut corners. Please save us money. If it doesn't need replaced, don't fix it. But this is my first boat. This is the business boat. This is like the flagship, you know, quote unquote flagship. Sorry for the pun, but for my entire business. And I want it to last 20 years. Okay, so what I need this. First of all, we don't need to recycle, okay? I need to take it off. How can you inspect the inside like we did on the rest of the boat? We took it off, we can inspect the inside, reinforce it, paint it, epoxy it, all that. Put the new one on with copper nails. With this, we don't know what kind of nails are in there. Is it gonna last another year or two, or is it gonna have steel nails, and is it gonna rot around the holes? That's what I gotta figure it out. So let me show you what we gotta do. So you can see where they replaced these panels. I think we got it on tons of videos. These panels are new, awesome, sealed, treated, copper nails. But it's like a puzzle. And then here you can see where it's the old boat. They just grinded down the sand, paint and everything to check for rot or anything like that. So you can see there's a whole chunk, the whole front end. Or actually, this is the back end of the boat. The whole back, and then like this little strip right here, all the way like halfway down the boat. They tried to salvage it so that they could just reuse it. They're not lazy. It's not about that. I think they're just trying to save us money. But I said, I don't care. I'd rather buy a few more panels and make sure there's no steel nails in there or anything like that. Being able to seal it from the inside. So I'm gonna have to tell, they're not gonna be happy, but we're taking these panels off. Can you see that on camera? Where it's, this is new, this is old, where you can still see paint. And it's the same on the back, on the other side. So this entire strip right here, it stops right there, half of the boat. This entire thing to there is the old boat. You can even see the blue. And I could see why they did it, because to them, they're used to having the budget or whatever. If it's not broke, don't fix it. This is a real solid. And honestly, I knock on it and it's just as solid as the new stuff. But like I said, I'm paying to have it redone. I don't care about the money as much as the quality. So it's also my fault. I haven't been here every day to say this dude next. You know, they were doing such a good job. I just let them run. And Elvis is up here every day, or Alex or whatever. But I'm here. I'm gonna have to put my foot down and show them what's up. And these guys are really good workers. I'm not, you know, I should have given more direction or whatever, but it's fine. So as an example, we did show them the old panels where it had an old steel nail in it, and this boat's only a couple years old, and that it was rotting around that steel nail. I said, see? And while we were gone, instead of pulling the panel off, they pulled the nail out and filled it with epoxy with a new nail. So no, it's not happening. We just don't need any steel. Definitely no iron on this whole boat. You could get stainless steel that is a certain grade that doesn't corrode, but in this country, if you ask, hey, is this a grade this or this grade that, they'll always just say yes. You don't freaking know. Is this waterproof? Yes. Is this gonna corrode? Yes. Like, you really don't know unless you're a metals expert. So I say screw it, use the copper nails. So Dexter and Elvis and all these guys came here like 3 or 4 days ago, maybe 5 days ago. Of course, I've been busy running the entire resort and students and stuff. So, but they forgot to tell me. But they were working on this while he was here, and he noticed for some reason they were using stainless steel nails, even though the entire rest of the boat they used those copper nails that I bought. But so we're like, you know, he got super mad, but he doesn't say anything. He just left, and he forgot to tell me. So they finished the rest with these stainless steel nails. I think some of you guys commented in the last video, and I was like, no, they're not. Why would they use stainless steel? I just bought really expensive nails. Anyways, turns out because of the super hard metal that we bought, or wood, they were having a hard time pounding in these copper nails. Like, it's a real malleable, soft metal, and so they're sitting there pounding in these copper nails and getting bent and just getting real pissed off. So they got what they claim is stainless steel corrosive proof nails for this last couple panels. And so, you know, Dexter, Alex, Elvis, they're just too friendly, too nice to say anything. You know, they just leave, and we'll tell Justin, but they forgot to tell me. But I'm here now. It's our boat. I'm gonna have to say something and just kind of put my foot down and tell them. But like I said, these are really good workers, so it's you know, I'm not yelling at them. I'm just saying, putting them on a different path. So we're gonna have to take the ones that they did do, this one last panel, and take it all off and replace it. And by the way, some of you guys were commenting that we should use copper screws because nails pull out and all this stuff, but it was an even worse problem when we try to use copper screws. You get it halfway into this super hard Gemelina or Luan or mahogany, and it would just be stripped. Then you have it freaking stuck in the damn panel, stripped completely. You can't screw it in anymore, can't take it out. It's a freaking nightmare. And come on, we got hundreds of them, so it happens every single time with this malleable copper on a super hard wood. You can imagine hundreds of screws all getting stripped halfway in. So it wasn't an option, it was even less option. So I just got to get this replaced, the new panel that they used stainless steel nails done again, and then we'll go from there. But I got some even worse news I gotta talk about, so let's do that. Look at this mess. This is like a test board we did last week. I mean, it's already coming up. It's already it's still not hard, even though it's supposed to take like 1 day. It's been like 1 week. Still sticky, and the edges are coming up. It's basically delaminating. So anyways, let's talk about that in a second. All right, I gotta give a big shout out to our friend James. He's got a YouTube channel called Texas Filipino. Anyways, after one of our last episodes, he's a good friend. He called me up and he said, you gotta put everything on hold and listen to me, because he was actually in the fiberglass business a long time, building molds and trailers and stuff, and he's got a big project coming up as well. But anyways, because of him, we got into some more research and experiments and testing and looking at other products that's been going on. And long story short is, I don't think we're gonna fiberglass this boat at all. So here's the thing. So we were told that the new law is we're not going to be able to register a new boat if it's not fiberglass, or even build a new boat, especially if it's not fiberglass bottom, fiber line they call it, as well as some other stuff that I'm not even going to get into right now. So that was the main reason we were going to fiber line the hull while we have it out of the water. And the other thing is, you know, in my mind, making it stronger, making it more waterproof, you know, from the elements and all that, sealing the wood, in my mind, because I don't have a lot of experience with fiberglass, but everybody's saying you have to fiber line it, and even the Coast Guard and everything telling me we have to fiber line it. So that was the plan. So we talked to the people that actually do this and came up with the plan, told us what to buy, got the matting. Well, you saw in an episode we got most of the stuff. But after talking to James and a lot, I mean, let's be real, I probably get 50 emails and messages for every episode we put out. Contrary to what you think, I do listen to comments that make sense. I mean, there's thousands of comments, I can't listen to everybody, but anyway, I don't know how to put this. Long story short, if you try to put fiber on wood, it has to be raw wood for one. It won't seal or bind to paint or even primer or anything like that. It has to be raw, untreated, nasty wood. And what we have here, the entire hull, is the opposite of everything I just said. It's treated Santa Clara, highly expensive marine plywood, which plywood, I mean, that's by definition, that's basically treated. And so on top of that, the whole thing is primer now, so we'd have to sand it, which is not a huge problem if that's what we wanted to do. But what happens even if we do bind it to the wood, like James and a few of you guys, we did some experiments with this, and there's other videos out there where even if there's complete seal or whatever, no leaks at all, nothing, it's trapping the humidity because it's so hot and humid here, like 100% humidity, and always raining, and in the ocean, the humidity from the inside of the boat stays in the wood. I mean, it's really, really difficult to imagine, but at a molecular level or whatever, the boat is always perspiring. I don't know what the word is, but the water needs to be able to come out. So if the humidity gets into the wood, which is, it does, it's guaranteed, it needs to be able to come out as well. But with the fiber line option, it traps that water in there. And all these experiments they were doing with the trapped water, humidity, whatever, that entire hull was rotten in a year. So by trying to seal it from the elements, they actually progressed much faster the rotting, whatever. And that's the entire thing we're trying to prevent. So we did a lot of research and talked to a lot of other people. I got a friend named Brian Davies. That's all he does for the last 50 years is chemical whatever. And he said you have to leave these boats raw. If you fiberline them, that's when they mold or rot. These boats do not rot. You have to put a thin coat of primer and paint, marine paint, that can be replaced every year or two. You could repaint a boat, it don't matter. But sealing the boat is the quickest way to make them rot. So I'd like to say we saved a lot of money by doing this, but we kind of already bought the stuff. But we saved the money on the labor and not having to freaking rehull this boat in another year or two because it rotted away, and then refibering it. So yeah, we did save a ton of money, even though we probably ain't gonna be able to return the fiber mat and the resin and stuff. So I think we got another plan. What Brian suggested we do is we get this this epoxy, I think it's Pioneer, I have it over there, Pioneer Marine Epoxy, I think. And well, let's go over there and explain it, because what I want to do is seal it with that inside and out before we primer it. Well, it's already primered, but over the primer and then primer it again, because this boat that they're building behind and every other boat, they don't really seal the cracks correctly. So what we're gonna do is seal the whole freaking boat with that and do it smoothly, because, well, let's just go over there and we'll talk about it at the boat. Okay, so this filler kind of reminds me, back in high school I had a side job or a part-time job as a drywall finisher. The hangers would hang the drywall and we would come in here and mud the cracks, is what they called it. So we would fill the cracks, and believe me, there's almost no cracks, and then we would fill the screw holes, you know, and then we would come back the next day and finish it, because it would you know, it would dry out and suck in, kind of shrink a little bit, so there'd be a little bit of gap, but if you painted it you would see all that. So we'd come in here with the scraper, with the mud, wipe it on, scrape it off, and it'd be just not even a freaking tiniest seam anywhere. None of the joints, none of the screw holes, nothing. And that's what we need to do on this boat, because I mean, they're really good workers. They know what they've been doing. They've been doing this for 20 years or whatever, but I just want a higher quality. And if you go look at this boat, which I'll show you in a minute, you can see all the seams. You can see all that. It's not sealed. You can tell they just filled the cracks. I want to fill the cracks. There shouldn't be huge cracks or gaps. And then, of course, when we replace all the old parts that they didn't replace yet. And then, I don't care if it's me and Elvis and Alex, we're gonna come in here with big fucking scrapers, like 6-inch scrapers, and mud the whole thing. Just all the cracks and seams, and then another layer where we smooth it out. And so not only is it going to be perfectly smooth, no edges, no seams, no nothing, this entire thing will be sealed. Okay, no rot or anything. And this stuff, as you can see, is like cement, but super light. And you know, kind of like after high school I was in the car body shop repair, and they would do the same thing. You don't just have a hole and fill it with Bondo. No, you pull that hole out, you grind it, you pull it out, you smooth it out completely perfect until you almost don't see, you don't need anything, and then you put body filler, and just to make sure it's even with everything, and you're not going to see it with that thin paint, and then you sand that down. So it's kind of the same thing as the drywall. You're not just filling holes with Bondo, you're smoothing it, sealing it, and everything else to make it match. So we're gonna have to do that on the whole boat after they do this, which means they're gonna have to start using the freaking tools that I gave them. So if you guys remember in the old I don't know how many episodes, or maybe all the episodes, they just have a freaking board and a stick, like a 1-inch stick. And I'm like, dude, we bought you all the stuff and it's just sitting over there as a decoration. If you have Bondo and the hardener, well, it's not Bondo, but the epoxy and the hardener, and on raw wood with little paint, wood chips and all that stuff in it, and then you're mixing it some random amount with too much hardener, and then it's on the boat too fast, it dries too fast, and then you come over here and with a 1-inch freaking stick to fill in holes, it'll take you freaking all day. All right, so let me go show you what we have that I'm gonna have to show them how and force them to use. I got an entire box of these scrapers. All right, and look, I got a whole bunch of these still with the plastic on them. So they're using little twigs and a piece of trash board. What I need to show them is you get your epoxy, you get your hardener, you mix it up right there, get a thing, you know, put it in the crack, smooth it out, put it in the crack, smooth it out, and then we'll do the entire freaking boat. Then we'll sand it down. You know, we don't need contaminants. We need this stuff. We need a real scraper. Not. Can you imagine, guys, doing drywall on a 65-foot wall? And there's two sides of the boat, so 65 foot times 2. Can you imagine doing that with a 1-inch stick times 6 foot tall or 8 foot tall or whatever it is? So I need them to really start filling all the gaps, all the holes, all the screw and nail holes, no screws, but you know what I mean, and really filling it in. Come back the next day, fill it again, smooth it completely flat, then we'll cover the entire boat and sand it down, get ready for primer, and then we can go in the inside. I don't really care if it's smooth and nice on the inside, but it's got to be everything. There's got to be everything covered. So I think they can unwrap these. I mean, I think this is like a cutting board for kitchen, but it's all we could find in this country. We got a few of them. Yeah, look. It's a giant cutting board, but it works perfect. It's just a big piece of plastic. A whole box of these that they don't use. So, yeah, they're really good workers. Filipino style. We're just gonna have to do some tweaks here and there and get it our way. Let me go show you an example on this other boat. Here's another boat they're doing, and they just seal the edges because, you know, honestly, the customer probably doesn't want to buy gallons and gallons of epoxy sealer. So you can see when I worked in the auto repair business doing brand new freaking Corvettes and Fords and whatever, if we would have left, can you imagine leaving a line like that on the side of a body panel? So we just got to do better work than this. And this is fine. I mean, they don't have any budget for this boat, but they do for my boat, and we're gonna do it my way. And it's not really their fault, but it will be if we mess up again. But can you see that? They just did the smallest little seam filler, and then they're done. Put a thin layer of paint on there. Yeah, this, everything. I want to take it off so we can inspect inside. You guys can remove, but don't replace later. We're good.
All right, so this is what the bulkheads are gonna look like. If you could see that, it's actually 3 pieces. Yeah, 3 pieces of plywood. 1, 2, and 3. We have just one more to go because this one's done, and then we just have this little piece here, you know, and it smells really bad down here because, you know, some unfortunate crabs got in here, you know, but these bulkheads are looking amazing, and so is the rest of the boat on the inside, you know, just some little stuff we have to take care of, and, you know, and then it's off to the next project, you know. Boat, right? Boat stands for break out another 1,000, because that's exactly what we're gonna do, you know. Got many projects going, you know, so, you know, just if you guys are enjoying, just, you know, just leave some comments for us, you know. I love reading the comments, but, you know, these bulkheads are looking amazing, you know. I thought usually they had like a little thing here, but I was wrong. So it looks like from here to here, so the first bulkhead, if anything comes from the front, you can drain it to here and here, and I guess through this opening up here, this is where you would scoop all the water out, you know. So learning stuff every day, but heck yeah, the boat is definitely getting closer to being finished, but definitely 1,000 miles down the road, you know, because we got so many plans and ideas for this, but these bulkheads are looking great. You know, guys, just a little suggestion. You know, are you looking to buy some fiberglass resin? You know, this is the real deal, special stuff. held by Mr. Justin Carmack, the Critter Republic himself. You know, so if you guys are...
Anybody wants some fiber mat?
We'll sign it for you if you want.
All right, I feel like enough of a asshole, so I'm gonna get out of here, let these guys get to work. It's like a church day, so nobody's here anyway. We had to call them in to talk to them. So yeah, it's not really their fault. They're doing a really good job, but I just had a heart-to-heart with them. And this other boat that I showed you, it's basically the owner just ran out of money, the customer, and they said fix it or build it with whatever material you can, save us as much money as possible. No, you know, it's basically been sitting there for over a year because they don't have the right materials and no direction or whatever. So that's kind of probably what they're used to, is locals running out of money, biting off more than they could chew, whatever. So I said, how come you didn't replace this? And they said, it was strong already, it's perfect, we didn't think you'd want to spend the money. So yeah, fair enough. I didn't give them directions, it's my fault. So obviously I got all these projects and students and things going on, entire thing to run, so I couldn't be here every day. So obviously I'm the one to blame. So I got clear directions now. Tear it apart down to nothing, just like they did the rest of the boat, and don't put it on until I'm back. You can make sure they got the right nails, the right epoxy, everything. We're not cheaping out on this one. We don't need speed. We can get it done slowly if we want, or if they need. Yeah. So I was a little bit hard on them. I feel bad. I was in a bad mood when I got here. I want to make sure nobody's slacking or messing up my boat, man. It's my first boat, dream boat. It's got to be perfect. With the fiberglass thing, I got to get some humble pie, because I've been saying I'm gonna have the strongest boat in the city. I got this and this and this plus the fiberglass, and now I know why no other boat out of hundreds are fiberglassed around here, unless they're complete fiberglass. So I can't really say it. It'll still be the strongest, okay, but not based on the fiberglass, just based on the reinforcement and everything else. So anyways, we got a whole complicated episode coming with those outriggers. That's another nightmare that I didn't even feel like talking about or getting into today. We're totally having to change that plan as well. But next we gotta finish the hull that I thought was pretty much finished. So yeah, it's cool. 5 steps forward and 2 steps back is still progress, right? See you guys tomorrow.